Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Astrological Intentions. I am your host, Alex Reevy, along with the floral fabulosa, Sandy Reevy. Say hi.
Hi. It's my new favorite thing.
Episode 213, August 22nd. Let's get right into it. In the transits, today, Mercury trine Pluto.
Be direct.
Sun ingress Virgo.
Virgos rejoice.
Wednesday, August 24th, Uranus stations retrograde.
Joining the retrograde group.
Thursday, August 25th, Mercury ingress Libra.
Speak fairly.
Friday, August 26th, Venus square Uranus.
Stress on freedom.
Saturday, August 27th, Saturn square Mars.
That is Sun square Mars, and that's Reframe.
And the new moon in Virgo.
Mental agitation.
And to end the week, Sunday, August 28th, Venus opposing Saturn.
Pulling away.
Then in Talisman time, Sandy has finished up 2 Talisman with 1 upcoming, as well as some events on the horizon. And in our house, Sandy and I are getting prepared to go back on the show road. Listen in to how we are prepping for the ISAR Astrology Conference in Denver, Colorado. Stay tuned for this episode of Astrological Intentions.
I say go do you. Now travel far, share your stories and earn your scars. It's you. Say you are the one you will answer to when this life is done. Don't waste a minute, jump in the river. Wash yourself clean so you can deliver you. The story of you, the story.
Hello, floral fabulosa.
Actually, this was given to me, right? This was gifted to me.
This shirt.
It's
Yes.
like a yoga shirt. It kind of, it's kind of pulls in.
Yeah.
And it's long, which I really, really like. And I like the way that, anyway, I like it. But it's pink
Pink
peonies.
roses and peonies.
Which I'm not the pink. All of a sudden, I'm gravitating to pink. We went out the other night and I wore a solid pink top.
Yeah.
And I got so many compliments.
Right.
And I was like, it was hard for me to take, actually. I'm like, no, it's not my color at all. But
you did. You looked fabulous.
And this is the day 2 in a row of wearing this one. I mean, does anybody else do that? Please say yes. I know you do.
Confessions on the podcast.
I know you do. And I may wear it again tomorrow.
All right, everybody. Thank you so much for listening into this episode. I want to go direct to all of you listeners and share a message from Susan W. in Cupertino, California. She says, love, in all caps, the weekly astrology updates. Oh, how I've missed listening to Sandy and Alex. The insights they share astrologically for the week ahead are so helpful, and their in-house stories are so fun and inspiring. Wish I were part of their family unit.
Aww.
I loved your story about Sandy's mom and the photo of her husband and his macho pose that she has been carrying around for 68 years and continues to share. And the fact that it is now a family tradition to recreate the pose with future husbands coming into the family is so special.
Oh my God, I think I'm going to cry, Susan.
Yeah.
Thank you. You are part of the family. Yes, you are.
Honorary
gather
part.
round. We have a wedding coming up, so get your dress together.
So yeah, that has been, so much fun to kind of document and talk about that Poppy. We call it the Poppy pose because we called my grandpa Poppy, and it's kind of like on a lounge chair in a Speedo. It's hysterical.
Well, it's not really a Speedo, but
Okay.
it's like a Speedo trunks.
Okay, whatever that means, but I guess they're more high-waisted Speedos and more coverage. So they're kind of like a boy short type.
Well, it was 1954 was their honeymoon.
Mm-hmm.
So
It's a black and white photo. She still has the original that she keeps in her wallet every single day. It's got this like plastic covering on it because she's wanted to keep it, pristine.
it's not pristine,
It's
but
not
it
pristine.
looks great.
But yeah, it's still
Yeah.
there. It's still good. And you'd think like in 68 years, like nothing has happened to it. It's fabulous.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's beautiful. Thanks for paying attention to that. And
Yes.
actually, thanks for those that do stay, Susan, you included, stay on long enough to listen to the Our House portion.
right.
We did put that at the end because it's, the personal mother-daughter stories
Mhm.
of what's going on in our lives. And maybe, you can, like you just said, you just got inspired for doing something maybe that is replicating something of years and years and years in the family tradition.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Susan. We send love to you out in Cupertino. In the transits, we have a pretty big week. Do you want to give us a quick overview?
You know what? Last week when you just kind of didn't go through all of the astrological glyphs, the planets and their connections they were making to other planets. And I really liked that. So let me just do that. We start the week with be direct, Virgos rejoice, joining the retrograde group, speak fairly, stress on freedom, reframe, mental agitation, and pulling away. These are the titles of each one of the transits that are going through Monday through Sunday.
It creates its own flow.
It does. It's like, we start off by being direct, right? Like say what you mean. Right. And then it goes through the week and we end with you pulling away. What are you pulling away from? Being direct or what is being said to you? Because if everybody's being direct, there can be
some resistance there.
Right. So let's get through it.
Let's start with Monday, August 22nd. Today, if you're listening on time, that is 2 transits. The first is Mercury trine Pluto.
This is the be direct. This is others will totally understand here. Mercury is in Virgo, the planet of understanding and communication, is trining Pluto. And Pluto is the profound, the intensity. It's like getting straight to the point so that you have more time on the other side to fix it, to have more like, here's the problem. What is our solution? So getting straight to the point, and it doesn't necessarily mean that we have to talk about a problem. It's a trine that says, hey, it's easy to do. It's easy to not skirt around, but, take that arrow and going right to the heart of the conversation. So, it's kind of like understanding the process, even if it's a long road. So you say yes to a program. You say yes, I'm willing to take this on a long haul to transform, to understand what we're discussing. So we're going to get to a core because Pluto is intense and profound, gets right to the center. Right. Yeah. So that's what this, and this is the first of 3 passes.
What a Monday.
Boom. And this is around dinner time on Monday. So, and this is first of 3 passes. So you're going to have some time, we get another, the second pass is September 27th when they're both retrograde. And then, October 7th when, they're both direct. So really interesting that Mercury has more of a forward movement now to ask Pluto, I need help with this. I need support. Can you provide that for me? And remember, it's a trine. It's harmonious and it's in Earth sign. Is there something that you need to do at work? Is there some sort of plan that needs to be corrected? Identify it here.
Okay.
Identify it. Yeah.
And then the second transit on Monday is Sun ingress Virgo. Happy birthday, Virgos.
By 10:16 p.m. Central. Virgos rejoice. It's the time of year to get organized. And we use this earlier transit that we just talked about because the sun going into Virgo is ruled by Mercury, right? And so Mercury already being in Virgo, Mercury's looking back at the sun and like, come on in, sun, welcome into my castle. And now shed light on what we totally need to understand to get straight to the bottom of things so that we can work on this throughout the rest of August, all of September, and the first week of October. I like this.
Great.
I like this.
Yeah. I'm down for the organization, the getting ready. And that's also it being opposite my sun sign. I got some room for growth there. So Wednesday, August 24th, Uranus stations retrograde.
Yep. By 9 in the morning, we've got Uranus retrograding, and he's just joining the rest of the superiors. We got Saturn, Jupiter retrograde, and the other outer planets, which are Pluto and Neptune. They're all at retrograde. So they're all in a slow moving progress. Now, Uranus particularly is the last one to go retrograde. So therefore, he is the last one to go direct. And that's not till mid-January.
Mm-hmm.
And for those that are going with me on the Mexico retreat, we'll be returning just as he's moving direct. We'll be moving direct just as he's moving direct. And I think that's pretty cool. Any birthdays, May 6th through May 9th. This is going through your 15 degree to 18 degree area of Taurus, and just be ready for change. This is,
maybe even just consider the retreat too.
Oh, good.
I mean, because we only have a couple rooms left.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You are metamorphosing. You are metamorphosing here. Your sun is being changed by this Uranus, and it's asking for more freedom. It's asking for more individuation. It's asking for a change up in your cycles.
Mm.
And, it's Uranus, because it's an outer planet. It really is more for, it's so interesting because it's a collective. It's about, humanity and everybody on a whole. But anybody that, his birthday between, again, May 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th will really be experiencing this. And you already know, you guys, that his birthday, you already know what's changing.
Mm-hmm.
You are in a metamorphosing process. You know it.
A metamorphic process. Maybe that's the word.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
And, so I would definitely say in the next 6 months, 5 months, to hop on a reading with me.
Mm-hmm.
Hop on a reading. Let's identify what parts of your chart this Uranus is going through, where your sun is sitting,
right,
and what your sun represents in
and
your
really
chart.
you're singling.
Now
I'm having trouble.
Singling.
You're
out.
singling out the sun signs only. But if anyone has any planets in that span,
15 to 18 degrees of Taurus,
right? So that those could be, if it's your moon, that could be a really time for that change to be really happening emotionally or internally or with your mom or so just interesting. You could look at it from many different angles depending on where those planets sit for you.
And let's just remind folks that anytime a planet retrogrades, it's not doing its forward work. Mm-hmm. It's doing its internal work. And so this really is a good time to
contemplate, reflect,
and consider what part you have in this internal process of Uranus changing your status quo. It's kind of like Uranus is like, be excited for this, folks.
Mm-hmm.
Something is changing to get you to the other side. You can't deny getting on. Right. You have to get on. So tooth or nail, you're going on. So why don't you obligingly cooperate?
Right.
That's what I love about. We were just talking, you and I, about our Saturn transits.
Right.
You have to oblige. You have to understand it.
Otherwise, you have to work with it.
Hell's bells. Right. What the hell? I'm in hell. Right. But no, you're not. You're here on Earth.
Resistance is futile. So let's move on to Thursday, August 25th, Mercury ingress Libra.
Speak fairly. Mercury goes into the next sign here. It's an air. It's a cardinal air. And he's kind of at a loss now because he has left his domicile placement of Virgo, the sign prior to Libra. So the Libra is after Virgo. So he goes into air cardinal, which, makes more humanitarian statements for, being fair and being balanced and stand behind what you're saying. So you make a statement, stand on it. Almost if you have to kind of angle your legs so that you're staying on this balance beam in a fair, like you understand their point and you understand their point. It's it's the balance. It's the justice. It's the fairness. So, you may be chatting more about rights and wrongs, and I don't mean, humanitarian rights, because if there's a right, there's the opposite. There's a wrong. And to see both sides of that, and where do you stand in the middle?
Right.
So it's a good time for debate. But what we're going to see is Mercury is going to go retrograde here in Libra and go back into Virgo. So
he's pulling away.
So what you're doing here, starting on the 25th on Thursday, is putting, wading into this area of what I think is fair, and then going back and how to put that into order, into process. So be true to yourself. Make these statements and stand on them, stand behind them, stand with them.
Right.
Stand up, be seen.
Yep. And Friday, August 26th, Venus square Uranus.
Stress on freedom. This is Venus, right? Venus is women. Venus is money. Venus is love, beauty. And, is someone in your world acting up? Is someone acting out? Oh, is that you? Are you acting up and out? Right?
Maybe.
Because it could be women or woman, right? It's either a group of people or just one person. I'm just wondering, it's a square, a little stress, a little frustration, which is why I say stress on freedom. What is coming up with women's rights? We just know that Mercury the day before went into a humanitarian statement of speaking fairly. And then boom, Friday the 26th, we get, this square to, and Uranus is stuck. Uranus is still stuck at this 18 degrees because he just stationed retrograde. So, he ain't moving. He doesn't move for a couple months off of this 18 degrees. So, can you figure out what they're really saying or what they're really portraying? Who, and the other part of that is who needs to be more flirty. This square could be like, who needs to direct. I write here and I think about this, being a little bit, feeling your freedom.
Okay.
But are you directing it into the correct relationship?
Okay.
Is it outside of your committed relationship? That's trouble. I'm just saying what you already know. Right. So be careful of your flippant comments to somebody in the room where your committed partner is also standing. Let's be aware of that could be some of the possibility of more flirtatious. So, if it's women.
Well, this is funny because the way that you the way that you phrase stress on freedom, if you look at it, it kind of, you can see it from both sides. If somebody is in a position where they want to create more freedom, they want to grow their freedom, they put their stress on their freedom. They stress the point that they want freedom. But then, when there is somebody like on the opposing side, and they put stress on that person's freedom and kind of bottle it down, keep it, contained, which is the opposite of freedom. That is stress on freedom as well. So just really interesting the way that you phrase that, because when you first said it, I was like, what does that mean? So it can be coming from both sides.
Yeah, it can. And it has this attraction kind of attitude because it's Venus, right? So, and that's why I say, batting of the eyes or turning of the shoulder and, Is it just flirty?
Yeah, totally looks flirty.
No, not at all.
So let's move on to Saturday, August 27th. We have 2 transits. Sun square Mars is first.
So, yeah, Sun square Mars. Okay, we can just hear that right away. We know that we've got the sun, whether this is an authority figure, this could be a government leader, is squaring the tension, the stress with Mars.
Mm-hmm.
And Mars is in Gemini here already, and Mars is in Gemini is scattered. So I'm just wondering if there's a battle of scattered energy of multiple confusing, actions that are being taken. We'll be watching the news around this. But I called it reframe.
Mm-hmm.
And, it's like reframe your anger and put them into words that can get to the point. Because we've anger is Mars, but the words is Gemini. So speak, and, you might be like vomiting, blah, into a multiple areas of contact where I'm mad at this, and when you do this, that bothers me. Oh yeah, when you lick your lips, that pisses me off, and blah, blah, blah. It's kind of like throwing, spaghetti on a wall. Mm-hmm. One of those is the core issue.
Okay.
Right? Not. And it reminds me, let me go to Pink.
Yeah.
And you won't let me play the song here.
But I'll let you wear the color.
Hey, is that a connection?
No. Let's go.
Maybe. You don't know.
Maybe. It's all connected. Yeah. Let's be.
Pink, where she sings the song, I framed where you punched the wall.
Mm-hmm.
So, in an argument that was so profound that, let's just make something up here. If in an argument, someone punches a wall and puts a hole in the wall because of Mars of anger, and she went ahead and framed it for a particular purpose to make a point of that was, out of character or something that needs to be fixed. So I'm going to put a frame on this. So when I came up with this is about reframing what I'm trying to get out.
Mm-hmm.
So, it might sting, it might hurt, but take and make the next action step. That's what this is about. It's not, it's reactive, right? Like, well, you do this.
Right.
So ask. So after you've purgatoried everything onto the, wall, take a deep breath, ask, and say, okay, what do we do next?
So reframe into more of a teamwork atmosphere would be helpful.
Yeah. And I literally went from, and there's so many dates that we can do checkups here because, Mars is going to be going retrograde in the sign of Gemini. So we're going to be having multiple, I'm just going to throw these dates out. I won't get into them individually. But October 8th, these are all checkup dates. So, if you're not driving, write
for
these
this
down.
Sun square Mars.
For the Sun square Mars, because these will come back into connections in different aspects. October 18th, checkup date. December 9, checkup date. January 31, checkup date. March 17th, checkup date. Oh, excuse me, March 7th, checkup date. May 20th, checkup date. These are all 2023 I've got.
Wow, yeah.
And all the way through November 18th of 2023.
Wow. When
Sun conjoins Mars in Mars's sign of Scorpio. So this is a long connection. And they do, but this is because Mars is making retrogrades. He's going to be at areas in the sky where Sun is going to be making a lot of, a trine, an opposition, another trine, a square. And Mars is going to have some people with him, other planets, and the Sun will have other planets with him while they're looking at Mars. So
it's going to be a long battle.
Big day. Reframe. What do you need to put around what is going on around this day?
Yeah, the focal point.
Yeah.
So let's continue on with Saturday, August 27th for the new moon in Virgo.
mental agitation. So, didn't I just talk about that? The new moon is when the sun and the moon are connected, right? And it's kind of the dark. We don't see the moon at all in the sky. This is at 3:17 a.m. at 4 degrees of Virgo. Now, we just talked earlier in the day about the sun squaring Mars. So now the moon is in the square with the Mars by this point. And this, that's why I say it's mental agitation, because the moon and the sun are square Mars. And we have a common denominator here, and that is Mercury. Let's remember this. 4 degrees Virgo, ruled by Mercury. Mars at 4 degrees of Gemini, ruled by Mercury. We have Mercury in the sky at 1 degree of Libra. In a trine, because Libras are air, but in a trine to Mars. So to me, this is like this, the ruler of this new moon and the ruler of Mars is trying to join hands here to make a pact with Mars to work issues out. And because, it's in Virgo, it's trying to make better, not perfect, right? There's no perfect of perfect.
Right.
There's no perfect anything. So you're not going to go there. Right. But you're going to make better. And this mental agitation can actually work it's a square, so it's stressful, but it can work in a way that makes you do something about it.
Yeah, that's great.
Let's make this better, damn it.
Yeah. Oh, no, I'm going to have to make this episode explicit now. So let's move on to Sunday, August 28th for our final transit, Venus opposing Saturn.
It's an opposition with Venus, all right? This is pulling away. There's a chill in the air. Anytime we got an opposition with Saturn, there's like cold feet, a chill, there's a shiver going on. Are there separations happening? Don't kid yourself now. Let's be really clear about this. Because are the separations happening for the right reasons? I trust to ask this, but I want you to answer for corrective purposes for the future. For purposefully for me and you, this is at 20 degrees of this Leo, 20 degrees of Saturn opposition. So, we were just again, talking about our transiting Saturn is making some major moves on our Leo planets.
Right.
And in this case, we've got, you'll have Venus on your moon and I'll have Venus on my ascendant. And we got Saturn. So Venus is going to pop in there. And it's like, is there something that we have to let go that isn't warm? That's not warm and fuzzy.
Right. And I think it's, with that Venus, it's a call to where are our values? And with Saturn being there, Saturn's like, how important is that value?
Yeah. And I think it's too about, whether we're going to have a separation or we're going to delay, right? It can be a delay. It's like, let's get to work. Let's figure this out. Let's work things through before we can get to the, the fun Venusian placement.
Finish 2 talismans
of entertainment
and
pleasure,
August 17th
and stuff.
to dive into
Wow.
hermetic
Okay. So that's a
arts and
long week
prosperity.
ahead.
I read between the lines
let's move into
and
talisman
under the
time.
surface to understand what is being taught. All of these magical theories come to life for me. This is a Mercury talisman. Mercury's in Virgo. It's the season to get Mercury Virgo talismans. And he's up on the midheaven. And, this is a really good place for learning anything that, Mercury is the ruler of astrology. And this could possibly be, a hermetic art, something that is, like talisman making or some sort of magic. So anybody moving into that category, this would be a great talisman for you.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
And so Sunday, August 21st, to heal all mouth and toothaches.
This is my magical remedy. My pain in my mouth subsides daily, which makes my smiles big and wide. Weird, huh? A little strange. But, they used magic and medicinal flower medicines, right? That's their medicine back in the hermetic arts. And this is when the moon is sitting on the fixed star Capella. And, this is kind of sits on the goat. And in this goat, the goat is what nurtured Zeus. Remember the mythology of Zeus's mom birthing him and then hiding him and then giving her husband a rolled up rock, and he eats it because he was eating all of his children. And so this last child, she's like, no, he's not going to eat this. So this is where the goat that was nursing Zeus sits. And it's about bringing healing toothaches and other mouth and teeth, things in the jawline can heal this. So, this is, and Capella sits at 22, almost 23 degrees of Gemini. And so the moon is here on the ascendant. So it's the health. It's helping the health of the native wearing the talisman, which is interesting because, my mom had surgery in her mouth right around this time and everything went beautifully. Yeah.
So the upcoming talisman, Tuesday, August 23rd, to be protected on all levels. This is a pre-sale.
I travel knowing I am safe and protected. I fly by any situations that exist. I sail among the heavenly angels to a successful outcome. Happy and satisfied indeed. This one sold.
Okay.
Yeah, this one sold. This is Mercury again. Mercury strong, coming up over the ascendant on the fixed star Alcade. And, Alcade is that tail of the Great Bear, which is the very last star in the handle of the Big Dipper. Right, which the Big Dipper is the Great Bear.
Right.
And
Ursa Major.
Yeah. And that's Alcade, which is about protecting travelers.
And everyone, the talisman of the month, this is the last week to purchase it on special for $222 to retreat in calm solitude. So let's move on to the horizon. We have our fall equinox constellation bracelet workshop. Registration has been closed. It is full and ready to go August 29th. So we will continue on to the next item on the horizon, which is Saturday, September 3rd. That's the September astrology forecast with you and Susan.
Yeah, and we couldn't do it in the end of August for September because we'll both be at the ISAR conference. I'm vending and she's speaking. And so we have to wait till the next Saturday, which is the 1st of September. So we'll be in it already, but the cheat sheet will be out in advance. That'll be out the end of August.
Right.
So, yeah.
And let's see, also September 27th through the 29th is the Manifestation by Design show. So if you guys haven't noticed, we're back on the road happening soon. And tell me about Manifestation by Design.
This is Beth Davis's event. She holds really powerful. I mean, she's a powerful speaker. She really can get to the heart. She's, human design and a hand analysis. And she can easily tell by some of the markings and, your human design, what you're destined in life, your destiny in life. And this she's titled Manifestation. So she'll be spending 3 days going over ways to using the human design to manifest a desire, a dream, or a want, or a wish, or a desire. And I've done, I think 3 in person and 2 virtual events. And this is her first in person in Scottsdale, Arizona. you can put the details here. Tickets are still available. It's 3 days, the end of September. So come by and you need tickets in advance. It's not an open forum, but you learn an awful lot. She gets right to the core.
Awesome. And October 22nd, we have a special talisman workshop for the Venus star point. That link is on the way. We are filtering out all of the last minute details, and we'll get that up for you all here shortly. Also, there is just 1 or 2 seats left for the 2023 Mexico retreat. That's January 7th through the 14th of 2023. And as well as we are filling up our Bali retreat in April and our Greece retreat in September. So join us for any of those. So let's move into our house, where we are getting prepped to get back on the road, back on the show circuit.
And as exciting as I am, to be out to see people. Of course, I'll be seeing my astrology peeps.
Yeah.
Other astrologers, going to classes. And, this is ISAR, the International Society of Astrological Research. And it's big. And I've always done their trade show, their marketplace, they call it.
Right.
And you ran it one year. You ran the bookstore, which was in the middle of the marketplace.
It was big.
That was in California.
Right.
But this one is in Denver. And so you and I are packing up and heading there next week for 5 days. And it's really interesting because I have to dust off the travel show suitcases. I have to go open each one up and see, are the tablecloths needing to be
washed
and ironed or
replaced,
whatever,
right?
And do I need bags? I realized today that was like, oh my gosh, I don't have any handout.
Right. We need our
bags.
like our credit card swipers. We need our our notebooks.
All of our products, our display pieces, our lights, our banners. It's like, oh, wow. I haven't had to do this in 2.5 years. That was pretty easy. Right. So it is about, we do like Southwest because we each get 100 pounds of.
Oh, right. Because we had 250 pounds.
250-pound suitcases. So we travel with four suitcases equaling 200 pounds, and it's back on the road again.
It's back on the road again.
So, it's exciting, and it's also
it's a big transition.
It's debilitating too, because it's like, I need change. I need business cards. We had to hurry and order some other things that we need to
for
hurry
print.
and come
Yeah.
in.
Right. Because
So
everything's
it's
been
like-
so digital. Everything's been so remote. Everything's been, canceled. There wasn't even any opportunities to do something like this for so long. And now it's back. Now we have to switch gears and get back into that, transition of things. And transitions are never easy.
No, and you say about switching gear, it's like, I guess I need to I can't wear the same clothes every day.
Right. You can't. you gotta get prepared.
And I gotta
for
put
that.
shoes on.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like,
Gotta wear the makeup. You gotta do your hair. You gotta smell good. You gotta,
I gotta
Not
always
saying
be
you don't
up
smell
and
good.
high and friendly and very Leonian. And with Saturn opposing that, I'm
Right.
going to try. And of course, I'm on my new, food plan. So I have to pack all of that.
Right.
So anyway, it's going to be great because one of the key exciting parts for me is one of my monthly consultation clients that I've been talking to for a couple years. I've never met in person.
Wow.
And she's coming to the conference hotel, and we're having dinner on the first night of our arrival. So I get to meet her in person. That's a highlight of my event. So that's exciting.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I mean, it's going to be great. It's going to be interesting to see how this this all works out, because even the conferences, they've been out of, kind of physical touch with all their conferences and presentations and following. So it's going to be really interesting to see these, big train pistons just start to go chuk, 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 chuk.
Because this is a conference that was scheduled in 2020 and then 2021.
And then
now.
Not really. Yeah.
And then now. And one of the other things that we were discussing is like, oh my God, this is a perfect venue to introduce your podcast,
right.
So it was like, hurry up and getting this together.
I got my business cards printed, which is great. They're a little marketing business card for people to be able to check out the meditations, the astrology meditations, and what better venue to hand out some of those than the ISAR conference.
And this astrology conference is for the professional astrologers that are teaching, and it's for new astrologers that really aren't out there, and it's for student astrologers, and it's for the non-astrologer that's interested in astrology. There are all kinds of tracks. I'm excited about the mythology ones, Jason Hawley. I'm excited about the Mars retrograde in Gemini, which will be very interesting. And I do want to probably tell you here for the first time. I want to run in September, so keep an eye out. There won't be a link to this because you're just hearing this for the first time.
Right.
This is where we have our conversations, right? And I had this like incredible, like, oh my gosh, I should put together a 30-minute reading that is just Mars in Gemini and talking, with a particular price point, affordable price point that I do in September and October. So I can actually help one pinpoint this Mars in Gemini. It is not in our lifetime.
Interesting.
In our lifetime gone through this area of Gemini.
I think that's pretty cool.
And so what house is it in for you? What natal planets is it hitting? Is it conjuncting, squaring, opposing? You're going to want to know that because Mars can be that aggressive, assertive, yet fiery pissiness. When we say pistons, right? What do pistons do? I just got that vision when you were doing that whole truck thing, like trucking. It's like
train.
Pistons are what starts the engine, the train, but it also has to pissing off. Right?
Oh, well, okay.
So I bring that up just because when you were moving that, I'm like, oh, that sounds like it. But, in Gemini, how scattered our energy is going to be and how I can maybe assist and help people, clients in this half hour to go after a handful of subjects and not barrels of subjects where they end up going nowhere and not and misusing.
Right. We all know that.
Retrograde.
When you fill up your to-do list in a day, you never get to that end of that to-do list
and you don't feel like
page.
But when you comprise it, when you compress it and you say, I'm just doing the top 3 and I'm going to get rid.
Right.
I don't even want to see those other
Right.
bottom.
That's what you would be doing for people.
Yeah. It's like you can get 1, 2 done.
Right.
Without distraction. And that's the whole thing. There's going to be scattered distraction.
Without being worried of, I'm not doing everything that I am supposed to be doing.
And sometimes that I'm not doing everything is I'm not doing anything.
Right. We believe
How many
that
times
sometimes.
have I said, oh my gosh, Saturday I wasted my day.
You say that all the time. And then I ask you what you did and you're like, oh, well, I read for about 3 hours. I wrote this. I did that. I sent out all the orders and and then I cooked some dinner. I'm like, oh, okay.
I like your nothing.
That's a lot of nothing. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
I would love to do that.
So let's put this together and we can start, in September. So I can just 30 minutes, boom, boom. And of course, if you want,
and somebody can,
30
they
minutes.
could print out their chart.
Mhm.
They could have their chart in front of them for this 30-minute recording and help distill it themselves. If they're still, needing more assistance, want to learn more about it, they jump on a call with you, and maybe we can make it a special 30-minute, option for someone.
Well, yeah, my vision of this was that you sign up for the 30-minute, Mars and Gemini retrograde reading. I can, good idea, I can send the chart, and I can send the cheat sheet that we always provide for the learning glyph page.
Mm-hmm.
And then, we hop on the call and we go over it and you take notes, for the next, because
I'm thinking about something very, very different from you.
Oh, are we networking right here? Tell me yours again.
So,
and then folks will see what really.
Brainstorming. We're not networking because I know you pretty well.
Okay.
So, how I was kind of accepting your information was that you were going to be doing a 30-minute recording for everyone, for how this is going for the first house, second house, third house, going into detail.
Okay.
Going into a generic detail.
Okay.
And then where I was adding it was if anyone wants to have specific information on their own chart, they can have a special one-on-one with you.
Who likes Alex's and who likes Sandy's?
Right.
I'm going to say people like yours. Damn, you always win. So yeah, it's things to bat around in the next week.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But quite interesting. We got to pay attention to this.
So yes. And thank you for joining our brainstorming session on this. And thank you so much for listening to this episode, everybody. It has been a really wonderful pleasure being with you for so many years, over 4 years now. So remember to send in your 5-star reviews. Email me, alex@intentionmeets.com. And we will see you next week for the next episode, everybody. Have a great week.
Bye, everybody.
I say go do you. Now travel far, share your stories and earn your scars. It's you. Say you are the one you will answer to when this life is done. Don't waste a minute, jump in the river. Wash yourself clean so you can deliver you. The story of you, the story